Hi everyone, so as I near the end of this Green River weeded bourbon, I thought I would do a video on this because I did an initial review on this and then I mentioned this and talked about this in a few videos since then. And I've had very mixed feelings on this. So when I initially tasted this and did the review, I think I was okay with it. I had previously tried and did a review on the Green River, the regular rye bourbon, and I kind of thought it had a bitter taste. And as I've gone through this one, I've kind of had a, not to maybe the same extent, but I've kind of had that same feeling about it, and I have had a bitter note on this one. And I know this is a very, very popular bottle among a lot of people for weeded bourbon, and I know it's a lot of people have talked about it as a good entry level, bourbon or someone getting into whiskey, and I can totally see that. But just this is just for me personally. This is now two Green River products, the regular rye bourbon 90 proof and this weeded bourbon 90 proof that I've had, where I kind of am getting a bitter note on it. I have not tried the Green River full proof. I was going to buy it, and I know I saw it on, I think it was Sealbacks, and I was telling everybody about it, and you got to get it. And by the time I went to order it, it was all sold out, which is fine. I'll get it another time, but I'd be curious at a higher proof how I liked it. But I figured I'd give this one more shot and see if maybe it's opened up. And I've kind of gone back and forth where when it got into it a little bit more, maybe it was a little less bitter, but I still felt it. So I wanted to do that. And then at the same time, whereas I just put this in a glass, I was just polishing off this Maker's Mark, both 90 proof, both weeded bourbons. This one I'll save because there's the Jeff of all trades label. I'll leave it right here. Let me just give this one more shot as we near the end of this. This is the Green River weeded bourbon. Cheers. I just am getting this a little spillage here. I am getting that it's just a bitter note, and it's not about whether the bourbon's good for beginners or not beginners. I can get that. It's definitely a lower proof. I just get a bitter note off this, and maybe it's just me. And I made sure my palate I didn't have anything to eat or anything like that. I made sure my palate was clean and just ready to taste. And I haven't had anything else before this. I just get a bitter note. I want to compare it to the Maker's Mark 90 proof. Okay, here's the Maker's Mark, which is also 90 proof, weeded bourbon. Cheers. I totally don't get that. Now here's the deal. I did a blind on these two, and I actually thought, believe it or not, that the Green River was going to win. And when I did the blind, the Maker's Mark went. And by no means, I love Maker's Mark and all their products, but this 90 proof, their flagship base 90 proof, I was never a huge fan of. I love everything else of theirs. But even with that, it won the blind, and I still see why it did. It just doesn't there's just a note in this, and I cannot, kind of for the life of me, place it or figure out why. But there is something, this is all me. This is 100% me. Everybody's palate's different. There's no right or wrong. And for me, it's not about, whether this is this. Yeah, I could see this being a good entry level, good beginner bourbon, soft. It's not high proof. Just get a bit. I'm going to give one more try. I don't know what it is. I do get a bitter note. Probably get a lot of hate on this one because a lot of people like this bottle. And again, there's no right or wrong. It's just me. But for me, myself, I'm not buying this again. I'm not going to get the regular Green River rye bourbon, but I do want to try the full proof to see at a higher proof if it tastes better, if I like it better. I found that experience with a lot of bourbons. 1792 was one of them. Never liked a small batch at the lower proof, but absolutely think the full proof at 125 proof is phenomenal. I found that with the Old Forester single barrel versus, like, say, the 100 proof. I've had a lot of examples of that. So I'm going to, when it's available again, I have it on note for them to email me and notify me when it's available. I'll give the full proof a try. But for me, myself, no, I don't think it's going to be a buy for me. But again, that's just me. And as we say, with everybody, in terms of, sipping whiskey and bourbon, there is no right or wrong, and everyone's palate's different. And that's what makes this interesting. So cheers, and more reviews to come. Take care.